The wind whispers. It whispers about Area Z, a place hidden from maps, a place where strange things happen. People say it's just an old army base, forgotten, abandoned. But the wind whispers different stories, stories of shadows and secrets, stories that make you shiver. The old folks talk about lights in the sky, strange sounds in the night, disappearances. They say things happened there, things the government wanted to hide. They say Area Z is best left alone, but curiosity is a powerful thing. It pulls you in like a moth to a flame. I first heard of Area Z as a kid. My grandfather told me stories, tales whispered around campfires. They were scary stories, but exciting too. I always wanted to see it for myself, this place of mystery, this Area Z. Years passed, the stories faded, became childhood memories, but the wind never forgot. It kept whispering. And one day, I decided to listen. I decided to find Area Z. The road to Area Z was long and dusty. It snaked through forgotten towns and empty fields. The sun beat down, making the air shimmer, but a coldness settled in my heart. The closer I got, the more uneasy I felt. The sign was almost hidden, overgrown with weeds. Area Z, no trespassing. The words were faded, but the warning was clear. I stopped the car. My heart hammered in my chest. This was it, the place of whispers. I stepped out of the car. The air was still heavy. It felt like something was watching me. I could hear the wind rustling through the trees, but it sounded different here, like it was trying to tell me something. There was a fence topped with barbed wire, rusted and broken in places, but still a barrier, a line between the known and the unknown. I took a deep breath and stepped over. I was inside Area Z. The road continued, cracked and overgrown. It led to a complex of buildings, low concrete structures. Dark windows stared back at me like empty eyes. A chill went down my spine. There was a gate, a heavy metal gate, padlocked shut. A sign warned of danger, high voltage, keep out. But the padlock was old, rusted. I touched it, it crumbled in my hand. I pushed the gate open. It creaked loudly. The sound echoed through the empty buildings. I stepped inside. The air felt colder here, heavier, like a weight on my chest. There were buildings all around. Some were just shells, walls crumbling, roofs caved in. Others seemed intact, but the windows were dark and the doors were sealed. What happened here? I walked through the deserted streets. Empty houses lined the road. Some had furniture inside, covered in dust, as if the people had just left, gone in a hurry. There was a school, desks still in place, books open on the floor, a child's drawing on a chalkboard. It was a happy picture, but it felt out of place here in this forgotten town. I found a playground, swings hung motionless, a slide rusted with age, a sandbox filled with weeds. This was once a place of laughter, now it was silent, haunted by the past. What happened to the people here? Where did they go? The wind whispered through the empty houses, but it didn't have any answers, only more questions, more mysteries. Section 5. The Watcher in the Woods. The woods surrounded Area Z, a dense wall of trees. They seemed to press in on the town like they were trying to hide it, protect it, or maybe trap it. I walked into the woods. The air grew cooler. The sunlight struggled to reach through the thick canopy. It felt like twilight here. Even in the middle of the day, something moved in the shadows, a flicker of movement. I stopped, held my breath, listened. There it was again, a rustle in the leaves. Something was watching me. I turned to go back, but the trees seemed to close in around me. The path was gone. I was lost in the woods, lost in Area Z. Section 6. Echoes and the Static. I found a building half hidden in the trees. It looked like an old radio tower, a metal skeleton reaching for the sky. A faint humming sound came from inside. The door was unlocked. I stepped inside. The air was thick with dust. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling. The humming sound was louder here. It vibrated in the floor. There was a control room filled with old equipment, dials and switches, meters and gauges. A microphone hung from a stand. It looked like it had been used recently. I touched the microphone. It was cold. A jolt of static shocked my fingers. I pulled back my hand. The humming sound seemed to get louder, like it was reacting to me. Section 7. The Man with the Clouded Eyes. I saw a man sitting in the shadows. He was old. His face was wrinkled. His eyes were clouded. He looked at me, but it was like he was looking through me. "You shouldn't be here," he said. His voice was a raspy whisper, like dry leaves skittering across the floor. "Who are you?" I asked. He didn't answer. He just kept staring. His eyes seemed to bore into me like they could see my thoughts, see my fears. "This place is dangerous," he said. "You need to leave." He told me about the night the lights went out, about the experiments they did here, things they couldn't control, things that went wrong. He talked about the people who disappeared, vanished without a trace. He said they were taken by something not of this world. He said Area Z was a gateway, a portal to another dimension, a place where the veil between realities was thin. He said they tried to close it, but it was too late. The door was open, and something had come through. I left the old man, left the radio tower. I ran through the woods, back towards the town, back towards the gate. I needed to get out of Area Z. I found a house, still intact. I went inside. There was a fireplace, ashes in the grate, a burnt log. I poked the log. Something fell out. It was a notebook, a small leather-bound notebook. I opened it. The pages were filled with writing, small, cramped handwriting. It was a diary. The diary belonged to a scientist. He wrote about his work in Area Z, about the experiments, about the things they had discovered, about the things they had unleashed. I read the diary, page after page. The scientist's words filled my mind, his fear, his desperation, his realization of what they had done. He wrote about a symbol, a mark. He called it the mark of Z. He said it was the key, the link between worlds, the thing that allowed the creatures to cross over. He said the mark was everywhere in Area Z, on the buildings, on the trees, even on the people who worked there. I looked at my hand. There was a mark on my palm, a small circular mark, the mark of Z. I ran until I couldn't run anymore. I reached the gate, climbed over. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see what was following me. I drove away from Area Z as fast as I could, but the memories stayed with me, the whispers, the shadows, the secrets. I know the truth now. I know what happened in Area Z, but some things are better left buried. Some secrets are too dangerous to reveal. The wind still whispers about Area Z, but I don't listen anymore. I know what it's saying and I don't want to hear it.